Nothing like coming home to parts you've been waiting for. So my PSC pump came. I can get my steering finally hooked up. Hopefully that's all that was wrong with it, because I got days away from probably going on this trip. And then I ordered two of these. These are the HEI modules. This is what plagued me about half the summer last year, and so I've got two spares for that, just in case. I don't know if something is weird with my ignition or whatever. It's well, it wasn't. I don't even know what my distributor is now. It was an Amazon one, and now it's who knows what I pulled it out of. But I got two of these for spares, so hopefully that'll take care of any issues on the trail. A new pump, so we're looking good. We'll get this stuff slapped on, and yeah, we'll see how she does. Well, what's up, everyone? So we're in the shop. We're going to try and get this power steering pump swapped on to Sanford today. I picked up, this is a cheap Amazon pulley puller for these pumps, and I've tried this over the years of trying to, I always figured this kit was more expensive and everything, and I don't know how many pumps and stuff I've wrecked trying to get the pulleys off the wrong way. So I'm going to give this one a try. It looks about like the same as, like the Yukon bearing puller for your ring and pinion gears and stuff. So it looks super simple. I'm going to try it. The only problem is to use this tool, I don't really have the room on Sanford. I don't know if you can even see in there. To get the tool on the end of the pulley here and clear my radiator and everything else. So, and then the way the GM did this, there are bolts behind the pulley that you can't get a wrench on. So I'm going to take this entire big bracket, which involves my alternator, everything, that whole thing's coming off, and then I'll just swap it all out and then put everything back on. So let's get started on it and see how this goes. Well, I got this bracket out of here with the pump and the alternator on it, and it's just one big assembly. And if you can see, right there is a bolt head that you cannot get this pump off without pulling this pulley. So I've tried it, and it gets about 2 threads. I ground a wrench and was able to get in there, and I've gotten them to where they're about 2 threads from coming out, and they hit the pulley and they do not come out. So you have to pull this off. Like I say, I've destroyed some stuff trying to do it. So I'm going to take this tool and assemble it together. And so basically this is like a clamshell, like for like your ring and pinion gears and stuff. This will go, the small end of this is going to go over this, and it catches, there's a shoulder on there, and this will go over and capture that, and then this collar goes on and holds the two together, and then there's a pin that's going to go in here, and when you thread everything down, it'll lift this off of here. So let's put this together and I'll show you what we got. So here's the parts I'm going to use to pull this out. So you're going to use the bigger threaded piece, and then this little plunger, and this just goes right into there, and this is going to butt, and it hits right on this, and that's what's going to push as you're hooked on that and pulling. So this is going to go on there, and then the way this goes, it's going to go over the pulley. Here, we'll go ahead and assemble all this right now. So this is going to go over, and you'll see how you hook your shoulders like that. And then this is your threaded piece. This is the actual puller piece. And then this collar holds everything together. And then you take your threaded hoopty here. Okay, so that's what's, and as I tighten down, that's going to lift that hopefully right off. So let me grab a wrench and my impact and see if we can rip that off. Alright, so this is my smaller impact. I figured I'd start off gracefully with it. And it's a smaller gun, or a lighter duty gun, so let's see. Yeah, I might need my bigger gun. This thing, and I don't know how I'll charge my batteries are. Okay, let's try this again. Just like that. So that was where I got this tool. Again, I'm a big fan of Amazon as much as I don't like to be, but this was $15. I don't think I could rent this tool for that. So it worked, it didn't explode, and it's got everything to pull the pulley back on the new pump. So I'll pull these couple bolts out. I also was noticing my other pump, this fitting is different, so I'm gonna have to pull this fitting out and put it on my new pump so that my hose will hook up, but no big deal. So cool, we're making progress. So you can see this pump has this style of fitting and my original has this style of fitting. So this, I already broke it free, we're leaking. Oops. But yeah, there is a check valve type thing in here. It's kind of spring loaded down inside there. But yeah, so I'm just going to swap this into that, and I think we should be in business. So yeah, all that stuff looks identical, other than one's a boy and one's a girl. Okay, we're swapped in, and now I just got to reinstall it in this bracket, and maybe I'll clean that up just a little bit before I do it, but we're on the home stretch. You need beer when you got carb cleaner. Which way? I guess I should have paid attention to how this is bolted on, but I think pretty much like that. Yeah.
If it fits, it sits.
What a retarded design, though. Because I mean, like, you think about this and like, so this is out of like a 95-ish Chevy 1500 or truck or whatever. But you think of all the shit they have in them. Usually got all your radiators, your air conditioners, all that stuff. And to get in there with a puller, or even get in there to pull this entire bracket off. Not that you're doing it every day, but it's just one of those things like, there had to have been a better way to engineer this. Alright, so your installer is, you're still using the same piece you used on your puller, and in the end where this little plunger went in, you take that out, I think it was here, and put that there, and it comes with all these variety of different length studs and everything, and so this is the stud I found to work, and thread that in to there, and then this is like your pusher, and yeah, flat side down, that's going to go on there like that, and this is on the top, so it's going to go in there like that. So we just need a thread that's threaded inside that shaft, so this will just thread down, and this will go on, and then you should be able to just rattle that bad boy down. Actually, let me get a socket. So I'm going back to my worn battery little impact to try and do this. I might end up having to do it by hand, and because I may have to hold this but I'm going to try an impact and just see if it'll walk it down there. Going? Okay, so that should be flush on that. Ooh, did I get the head of that? Oh, so that just holds into that. Cool. What'd I do?
Tools here, tools there, tools here, tools there.
Yeah. I'll tell that part of a minute, but oh fuck. I went too far. It's supposed to only go flush to that. How did it go past that? Yeah, I gotta pull it a little bit. Delete. Alright, so I messed up here. And this, when you tighten down, that's a bearing. And that beveled edge, apparently I should have had the washer on this side. Because this pulley should basically be flush with that. And I sucked it way down. So I gotta pull it again. But it should have probably been washer, bearing. This kit, one thing for being $15 compared to... If you buy the $60 one, you get the piece of paper with directions in it. So I didn't have it. So I'm going to pull this back up a bit and then push it back down to where it's flush. So we'll try her again. Hopefully this didn't mess anything up. And that goes like that. Okay, now, because right now this pulley will not turn, so I haven't said I haven't completed this project without destroying it yet. Hopefully now we've got a little bit of play, so now all this should do it. Okay, actually we're damn near flush right there. I think it is. Something with a straightish edge on it. Alright, now I got it flush. It's right where it should be, so should line up with all this stuff. It actually spins now. Now I can put this thing back on and hook it up, and hopefully I didn't fry something in my steering box either, but I don't know. It's super hard to turn, but without power steering in 42s, it's gonna be. So we'll see if this fixes it. Proper socket.
I do not know.
It's heavy and kind of awkward. So I got everything bolted back on, was just about done and hooking up the line to my reservoir, and I don't know how I didn't notice this, but if this will focus, this is considerably bigger than the hose that goes on it. So that fitting is actually a part of the housing, and yeah, it's like it doesn't come off, it's welded in or whatever. So my only other option, because I'm pretty much out of time and I'll be working a lot this week and not gonna be able to get a hose made. So I'm gonna try, you can swap these housings out. So it's another little thing that can happen. But hopefully There's 2 bolts here. I pull this off. There'll be an O-ring around here. As long as I don't damage anything, shouldn't be no big deal. But that's my only option I have. And then I'll have to swap this back out and, hi Julianne, and pull all the bracket, all this back off to swap that housing. So hopefully I don't got to pull the pump off of the, I won't have to pull the pulley and everything off of the bracket. I can just swap this out with it on the bracket. But it's another step that makes this take a lot longer. So I have never had one of these pumps apart. I don't know what I'm getting into. This is a make or break it moment. So I'm going to open this up and see if I can succeed or if I'm going to be staying home. Okay, those are out. I'm doing this to the old one first. I don't know. As far as I know, that's an O-ring, so I'm hoping maybe a little rubber mount on that. Oil everywhere. I don't see any snap rings or anything. No, they're bolts. Kind of looks like it's coming.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. That sounded good.
And now we're starting to leak. Toes.
Is it dumping out? Here, I'll go dump this out. Okay, so I got this red, I guess it's a reservoir, off of the pump. I've never been into one of these before, and I was fighting it, and the actual fitting that I had to swap out of there, I was thinking just thread it into this pump housing through that hole, but it actually goes into the pump here. And so when I was trying to beat this thing out of here, that was holding it in, and I kind of caved this in, but I got it straightened out. I don't think there's enough damage on anything on here that is gonna cause any problems, knock on wood. But the old pump is out, and now I'm gonna pull the bracket and everything off and try this with my new pump, hopefully the correct way. So let's see what happens. This is why Sanford can't have nice things. So I was hoping I could just pull this off. There's just 2 O-rings once I pulled that out, and this should slide off, but I can't wrestle it out. I don't want to damage it. So now I got to pull the pulley back off, take the pump off, and get it in a vise and do what I need to do to get it apart. So we'll do that real quick. Try that.
Oh,
and
easy.
We are golden. Laziness is the mother of invention. So, well, that's like a magnet, debris magnet in there. Okay, and then, well, that's good. All right, so hopefully this. Oh, I didn't even think about the holes lining up.
Oh.
But tappy tappy. We might be winning.
I have to use the wheel adapter this time.
Yeah. We never needed it.
Right?
Okay. Oh, this may have just saved our butts. this is how all the entire build of Sanford has gone. I've bought nice new parts, and some reason I always end up having to use some old crappy stuff or mix it and match my old parts with my new parts, and it's always the same thing. But I am not going to complain because hopefully we can make our trip now. Okay, and then this little guy goes back in there. What did I do with my big 1-inch one? Hole.
Yeah, it's way bigger on the newer one.
Yeah. So this is the difference of what we've been dealing with, and this pump, the new pump, is supposed to be for ram assist and just a better, higher pressure pump. But I'm starting to wonder now because this would have more volume for more hydro steer or something. So I don't know what I'm getting into. We have no choice but to try. So I don't know. And when I looked up the numbers off of this pump, nothing on there comes up. This pump, these are all different. There's nothing in PSC that has these numbers. I don't know what these even are. But when I did find the pump, it said for ram assist and everything, and I was like, okay, cool, that's what I'm getting. So obviously there's some differences, but we're about to find out if this fixes my problem. So hold on. Alrighty, everything is back together. I think we're just about ready to try it out. I think I got my lines on right for the ram. So yeah, we're gonna fire this up. I'll try and run it side to side. Hopefully the pump is the only thing that went bad on it, and if it didn't, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So let's see what we got. I'm gonna get a jack and jack it up and see what happens. That's not good. I don't think it was the pump. I think something's wrong with the box. So this is going to see if this ram will actually move just by turning the box. I don't know if the valving in it's burned up. I don't know what's going on, but let's check this out. That ram is not doing anything. My box has absolutely no power. So something in the box and the way that valving burned up. So I got to drill and tap a box and swap one out. and hopefully it'll fix this. So right when I thought I was going to be well ahead of the game, I'm not. And that's just kind of the way things go. So I'm going to go have a steak, and I'm going to think about things for a minute, and then I'm going to come out, probably spend the rest of the night working on this thing so I can put it on a trailer. So let's go do that. Well, after having a nice big steak and sitting on my butt and getting pretty slouched down in my chair, I figured I'd better get off my butt and get out here and get this done. It's almost 8 o'clock at night on a Saturday night, so all I have is Sunday. I got a long week coming next week, but we leave for our new adventure, hopefully, if I can get this steering fixed. So here's what I got figured out. So right now, I've got this box is like a YJ box, and as far as I know it's good. I don't remember what it came off. I think it was another Jeep I had, and I did hydro steer on. And then this is a PSC box. It's already drilled and ported for the hydro assist, but it's leaking out of the back cover really bad. And that's one I swapped this box out for the one that's on Sanford right now, because this was puking out of the back here. And I put new O-rings in. And I don't know if I got hit by a rock and kind of ovaled that end up or what, but I could throw that in there and probably swap a few O-rings out over the weekend, and that would be the quickest, easiest way. Or I drill and tap this box and shove it in there, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. And generally, you tear these apart and do that. I don't think I'm gonna, so I'm gonna roll the dice. I think I'm just going to plow a drill through this thing with a vacuum cleaner by there to suck up whatever chips I can get and hope for the best. So I think that's it. But first, I am going to pull the box off of Sanford here, see if I have any other options. The only other thing would be, if I am going to tear apart a steering box, would be to pull the guts out of this, put it in Sanford's box, and it's already drilled and ported, and I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead, pull the box off here, and get an idea what I got to do. So I disconnected the drag link off of my steering box, and it's still hooked up to the ram, and I can turn my steering, and my ram's not working. So there's something in the valving of this box that definitely went bad. So right now I think it's just the gear to gear in the steering box that's making it actually steer. There's absolutely no power going through this box, so it definitely needs changed. I figured I'd check that out before I tore all this apart, but yeah, that ram should be working back and forth and absolutely nothing's going on. So I guess I am drilling and tapping a box or gutting them out, or I'm not sure yet, but that crosses that off the list. Okay, so this is the box that was in Sanford, and this is where it's been drilled and tapped for the ports for the ram assist. Apparently the valving, I don't know how all this works, but when you rotate it, there's something that rotates and opens up different oil ports and makes one or the other of those open and close to where you'll make your right and left steering in your ram. So to me, it's right on the parting line of where they cast this, right in a row, just slightly off center of this port is where that one is. I don't know, would it matter? It's over a little bit, but I'm going to try and duplicate it. This box is pretty much the same thing. This looks like where it was broke off from it when it was cast, so I'm going to grind that flat, and then I might throw this in my mill so I can just run it straight across on that line. I don't know if it'll clamp in there or not, or just do it freehand, but I don't think I'm going to gut this. I'm probably going to have Julianne hold the vacuum cleaner right by it as I drill it. And I'm going to ram, I think these are 1/8 or 1/4 inch pipe threads in there. So I'm going to do it, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of crap in it. But again, it can last a weekend, it can last a year, I don't know. But I ain't got much time to do this. So, and I figure by the time I gut this box, ruin a couple of O-rings and everything else, I'm probably going to have the same leaky mess as I will with a metal chip that gets in there. So I'm going to roll the dice. All right, I got it chucked up in my vise here. I'm just going to machine it. Well, I'm going to grind this flat enough to where I can get a drill bit to maybe kind of go in there half straight. I'll center punch where I want to go there. center pinch one over here, and then we'll drill it. And it appears to be 1/8 inch pipe tap, so that's what the other one was, so we're gonna shoot for that. Alrighty, I got that all nice and somewhat flat, and then I just kind of dusted a little parting line rib off there so my drill bit can go in there. And we're gonna go try and drill this. I might actually do it right here since I got it clamped up here. Seems pretty stable. So I'm sure it won't be straight and true to the world, but nothing on Sanford is. So let's see what we can do. So I'm looking at this other box. I don't think whoever did this one tore it apart either. So this hole is drilled all the way through down into the casing. Looks like it's about a 1/4 inch thick. And then this hole is, when you spin this shaft, you can see things turning in there. And this hole was drilled right to the shaft, but it's not broke all the way through. And that leads me to believe if you had all the guts and everything out of this, you'd have drilled that all the way through. But I think somebody went right down to the edge to just break into that, and then just got it to where oil can get through there. So I'm going to try it. Let's say I think this one was drilled, and it's lasted me a year or so. And I know the rig it was off of was several years, so it might get a little bit of crap in there, but I don't know. I just figure by tearing these apart, you know, I'm going to probably wreck O-rings and everything. I've never had one apart. I don't know. I think I'm going to roll the dice, and we're going to do it. So I measured all where these holes are, and I got them laid out on here. And I'm going to go ahead, and I'm starting with a small drill bit, and I'm going to go down and just get to where I'm almost breaking through, or feel it start catching and wanting to break through, and then I'm going to pull it out, and then I'll swap into my main drill for drilling the 1/8 inch pipe. So here goes nothing. Well, we got talking, and I kind of feel it's better to be safe than sorry. I kind of want to know what's in these boxes anyway. I've never had one apart, but it'd be kind of nice to know, because I don't have much time and I can't afford to mess this up. So if these boxes come apart relatively easy, I know you got to make sure that you keep your gears timed in them. I don't know, but I'm going to try and tear this thing apart and see. This is the bad one, so there's really nothing I can mess up. I already pulled the steering arm off of it, which needed to come off anyway for the other one. So we're going to go ahead and gut this one, and if it's not too complicated, I'll gut the other one so that I can actually do it right, and maybe it'll last. So yeah, let's dig into this thing and see what's inside. Well, for projects that you're doing and you are running against the clock and you need a tool and it's like 11 o'clock at night, yeah, I'm tearing this steering box apart, and to get this piece out I need a specific wrench. So I just took, there's a couple of holes in this nut here, so I'm making a spanner wrench, and I'm just doing something like this, and this is going to allow me hopefully to get this steering box apart at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday. So I'm going to weld this together, and we're going to give it a try. Alrighty. Sometimes you just gotta cobble something together to make it work. And I just needed to put nuts on there. This should lacerate your guts if you made it right.
Lord.
I might need to put this in a vise. Well, we got this box all apart, and I thought it was going to be easy breezy, but this piece that goes in, this goes in and is rides up and down on these threads, and those teeth right there are what run on this shaft and makes it go back and forth. But after we got it apart, looking in there, there's a ton of these little ball bearings, and I'm not real sure how you get them back in there, so I'm going to go watch a video on that, hopefully find a way how these go back together. I just about gutted my other one, was going to swap all the guts into this box, and I'm glad I caught that before I did that. So I may drill the other box. I'm not real sure. And then there is a, where did that nut go? Oh, the end of this has this nut that goes into the end of the box, these two little holes in there. I ended up making this tool just out of some flat bar and everything, and it's just a spanner wrench, but it goes right in there. And that was able to get that out because at 11 o'clock at night on a Saturday, most hardware stores or anywhere that would have that, which most stores probably don't have it, so I had to whip that up. But I am going to go watch more about how to put these boxes together and sleep on it. And tomorrow is about the only day I have to hopefully get all this stuff figured out. So, yeah, we're going to go do that tonight, get a fresh start in the morning, and hopefully all goes well. Well, a little recap for today's adventure. You know, sometimes things don't go the way as planned. Yeah, I got a $400 pump I don't think I needed. I got a steering box gutted all to hell that I don't know what I'm doing on. I've got very little options at this point, so we're doing what we can to make this. It always ends up like this, and I'm sure we'll get it figured out, and we'll make it somehow. But yeah, it's not a perfect world. Sometimes you run into bumps, and you just got to deal with them as they come. So. Not a bad day today. I'm learning a lot. I've always wanted to tear these boxes apart, because just to drill and tap and do a power assist, I've never done it. And so now I know what's going on with them a little bit, and I got a little bit more learning to do, but you know, it's not a total loss. So yeah, we're going to get this thing figured out. Tomorrow we'll have another box in. Hopefully it all works, and we can load this thing on the trailer, and we'll be ready to roll. So stay tuned. Thanks for, watching, and hopefully you guys might get something out of this. Maybe this solves a little of the mystery for you. But yeah, we'll have part 2 tomorrow.